Vampires are documented throughout the whole Bible, and if you give me 5 minutes, I could easily show you with scripture. In Leviticus chapter 17, starting at verse 10, it says, And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, No soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of flesh is in the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. Now the wisdom of Solomon was actually in the original Apocrypha that was in the Bible before it was removed. It was also originally in the King James Bible. It explicitly accuses the ancient Canaanites of eating human flesh and blood. The text condemns them for merciless slaughter of children and sacrificial feasting on human flesh and blood during their unholy rites. The text refers to the Canaanites as unalivers of their own children and devourers of man's flesh. Because of these most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, God ordered the destruction of these inhabitants, as noted in the Cantina Bible passage. The Canaanites really are the offspring that come from Cain that made it over on the ark. It could have been through Noah's wife, who I believe it was from, or from one of the wives of Noah's children. But I believe due to what Ham did with his own mom, this had to have been Noah's wife that did this, or that was part of this Cain lineage. Going to Genesis 4, when Cain unalived his brother Abel, and God cursed him, this is what happened. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I could bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, from the face, which means the surface of the earth. He was banished from the surface of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, and if any finding should unalive him. So first of all, it says that he will be banished from the surface of the earth. So he's in the earth. Caves are in the earth. It could be in the ocean. But he also said that he's banished, or he'll be hid from the face of God, right? And from his presence. Genesis 1 tells us he's associated with light, day, morning, and evening. So if he's hid from God's face, he can't be seen by the light, the day, the morning, or the evening. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void. And darkness, that word for darkness is chosik, which is wickedness, destruction, misery, death, was upon the face of the deep, the waters, the primordial waters. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light. The word let there be in Hebrew is yehi, which is I am to be light. And there was light, and God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light, which is good, from the darkness, which is the evil, death, destruction, misery. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So God's good light, I am to be light, is associated with day, morning, and evening, while darkness was associated with night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. As you can see, that's associated with God's light, unlike the darkness, which he completely separated and did not call good. And now we go to Joshua chapter 10, where it speaks on the man of Gibeon, who deceived Joshua into not thinking they're Canaanites, made a covenant with the Israelites. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp of Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. Now, Genesis chapter 9, it speaks of what happened between Ham and his mom. That Noah drank of the wine from the vineyard he planted and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, it's already speaking about Canaan before this even happens, saw the nakedness of his father and told it his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backwards, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah woke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him, and said, Cursed be Canaan. In Leviticus chapter 18 it tells us, None of you shall approach any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. So uncovering thy father's nakedness is really his wife. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. And what did Shem and Japheth do? They walked backwards and covered the nakedness of their father, aka the wife, the mom. And they saw not their father's nakedness. They knew it was wrong to do that. Why do you think his descendant, specifically Canaan, was cursed? Ham had multiple descendants, but Canaan was the cursed one. Because that was the baby, which was an abomination made between the mother and the son. Anyways, back to the topic, Joshua. The Amorites were a powerful ancient Semitic people identified in Genesis 10:15-16 as descendants of Canaan, the son of Ham. So they're part of this cursed seed, the Canaanites, Canaan. So Gibeon asking Joshua for help, and he said, For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. Now notice it said, For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. In the mountains. Mountains have caves. Cain's descendants. Because Cain was banished from the face of God. He was hidden, and from the surface of the earth. So he was in the earth. Like how if you're in a cave, you're in the earth. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thy hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. That's when they came to attack, in the night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up Beth Horon, and smote them to Ashkenaz, and unto Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled before Israel, and they were going down Beth Horon, that the Lord cast great stones from heaven upon them, unto Azekah, and they died. They were more which died with hailstone than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. So God did most of the work for this. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, where they were fighting, and the moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is it not written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted to not go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. But these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in a cave in Makkedah, when they realized the sun wasn't going to go down and the moon wasn't coming. And it was told that Joshua was saying, These 5 kings are found hid in a cave at Makkedah. How interesting. They ran away when they realized the sun wasn't going to go down and that the moon wasn't going to come back right then. They ran to a cave. And Joshua said, Roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by forth to keep them. And stay ye not, but pursue after your enemies, and smite the hindmost of them. Suffer them not to enter into their cities, for the Lord your God hath delivered them to your hand. Then said Joshua, Open the mouth of the cave, bring out those 5 kings unto me out of the cave. And they did so, and brought forth those 5 kings unto him out of the cave, and the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war which went with him, Come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near, and put their foot upon the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, Fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and good courage, for thus the Lord do to all your enemies against whom ye fight. And afterward Joshua smote them, and slew them, and hung them from trees. And they were hanging on the trees until the evening. And it came to pass at the time of going down of the sun, that Joshua commanded that they took them off the trees, and cast them into the cave where they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, where they remain until this very day. He literally hung them from trees until the sun went down. Why would you do that unless they're vampires? I'm going to do a part 2 with the book of Jasher, clearly explaining how they're vampires.